So you got to keep that in mind as well. So here's what I'm going to tell you real quick. I know I'm going all over the place, but when I was coaching these 25 people, okay, what I thought was interesting is all of them just were not out in front of enough people. You see what I'm saying? They're not out giving a buyer's presentation or a listing presentation. And that's all they needed to do. They would do 6 deals a year. I said, well, be brutally honest with me. How many presentations did you go on all year? That was very low. It's disgusting. What are you doing all the rest of the day? Well, you're at open houses. Yeah, you're at open houses, not setting up appointments. So what I thought was interesting, out of the 25 people that I had the opportunity to coach, they weren't on enough appointments in front of people. Now, for me, I live in Pleasanton. I have a home office. My office is in Los Altos. Okay, I was in the top 1%. So out of all 2,300 agents out in Intero, I came in the top 14 or 16, whatever there is. Okay, I've done that 3 years. Okay, I earn an office. I earn an office with a panoramic view, right, in Los Altos. I said, JT, my manager, please keep this office and give it to somebody else. I don't want it. Because the way I look at it, if you're in your office most of the time, you're closed for business. Okay, that's just the way I think. So, because our job is to be out in front of people and giving presentations. When you're at an open house, don't be an informational booth like you're at the mall. Hi, you're looking for the Gap's over there. You're looking for the toilets are back there. When you're at an open house, it's all about reading people when they're coming in. How can you get to relate with them within seconds? Figure out their motivation and set up an appointment then and now. You guys follow me? Your agents aren't doing that. They're getting names and numbers. Okay, well, the owner would like you to sign in before you look at the house. Okay, sign in. Okay, good. Okay, great. Can you sign in? Okay, great. Okay, go there. And then your open house is done. You're like, oh my God, look at this. I got 10 names and numbers. This is great. I was coaching people, and they would say to me, like, great, you did an open house. How did your open house go? A coaching called me on Monday. How did your open house go on Saturday and Sunday? Oh, it went great. I'm like, great. Tell me, how many appointments you had? I didn't get appointments, but I got 15 names and numbers. I go, that's disgusting. You got no appointments? I said, great. Your homework assignment now is to call these people back and set up an appointment, which is the wrong thing to do, because if you're in an open house, and this is how I dress all the time, the perfect time is to set the appointment when you're there. Now, they're going to call them back, and guess what? The following week comes. How did that go? Well, a lot of people didn't remember who I was, and the number was disconnected. See what I'm saying? When I did an open house, Saturday, Sunday, I was really focused on how to get an appointment. Okay? And if that means, hey, my open house is over at 4 o'clock, I'll set it, hey, can we get today at 5? So I'm always thinking about setting up an appointment. Now, it's hard to set up an appointment if you don't have a carrot. I found that you need some type of a hook to get them to set up an appointment. Okay? So we can talk about this later, but one of the hooks that I would use when somebody come in, of course, I'm trying to relate to them, and then I say, hey, how's it going? You could ask them if you want. I would never ask this. Are you working with an agent? Don't ask that question, because even if they're not, you're bothering them. They're going to say yes, so you just shut up and get out of the way. Okay? So never ask that question. Say, hey, great. Hey, how are you going about finding the homes you're looking for? Let them say, I'm working with a real estate agent. You guys follow me? Just don't need to ask them directly. That's not. I know you're being nice. You don't want to step on anybody's toes. But what you don't understand is they're most likely not, and they're going to say yes to you because they want to be bothered. Does that make sense? Okay, so one of the carrots I would say, great, and if they do say yes, and I'm working with an agent, congratulate them. Wow, that's awesome. That's good for you. Who is it? Right? And they're going to sit there and go, oh, God, honey, what was his name? It's free game because they don't know the guy's name, right? And they finally pull it out of their hat. They're not really committed. You guys follow me? Or they'll say, so who's the guy? So who are you working with? Oh, I'm working with Albert Garibaldi. Albert Garibaldi, wow, that's awesome. How's that working out for you? Oh, it's working out good. Hey, great. So, hey, have you guys wrote any offers yet on any properties with Albert? Yeah. Wow, how's that going? Obviously, how's that going? Well, we haven't got it yet. Wow, interesting. Wow, why do you think some agents out there that are working with buyers are actually getting them in properties? What do you think your agent's doing that's not helping you get into the property? Well, I don't know. Well, are you familiar with some of the techniques I'm using right now to get buyers into the property? No. Why don't we get together? I'll show you. Today at 4, tomorrow at 5. What works best for you? You see what I just did? I'm setting up an appointment. So you even get excited if they're working with somebody and just dig a little bit. Hey, how's that working for you? Then I say, hey, great. Now, are you finding homes that are just on the MLS, or are you interested in looking at homes that aren't even on the MLS? Oh, I would like to I look at some homes that are on the MLS. Great. When can we get together so I can show you how I can do that? See, that's a hook. See the carrot I just did? So it's easy for me to set up an appointment. Here's what I found. When I was setting up appointments, then I would qualify. So for me, I wouldn't say it's easy. It was natural for me to set the appointment, but then as I kept on setting a lot of appointments and going on all these other appointments, they weren't qualified. I'm thinking, man, this is not going to happen anymore. I'm going to start qualifying. So now I was getting the appointment, then qualifying. Okay, great. So I'll see you tomorrow at 5. So great. So tell me, how soon would you like to buy a house? Oh, it's not going to be, no, I'm still at the open house. Well, not for another 6 months. Why 6 months? Well, my lease is not up. My lease is going to be up in 6 months. Okay, great. Is there a chance that maybe you can break your lease? Oh, no, So I'm qualifying. If they're in a lease, well, then why am I showing them property now if they can't do it in 6 months? But see, agents are showing these people properties. It's weird. So all I'm saying, guys, you have to ask good questions to assess people's motivation, and it's not an easy thing to do. Some of the questions I'm afraid to ask over my years of experience, and every time I was afraid to ask that certain question, it got me every time. Every time. Have you planned to sell your house yourself? Never asked it. I get there, do my list presentation, guess what happens? Oh, we're going to try this ourselves. It would have been nice to know if they were going to do it, right? Are you planning to interview more than one agent for the job of selling your home? Never asked that question. I assume I was the only guy. Guess what? They're going to interview 3 other agents. Okay? So, qualify, and the reason why I qualify is because I'm looking for people's motivations, and I want to really see if they meet my standards. That's the bottom line. And another thing, guys, for me, besides the mindset, JT's always trained me to be unattached. I think too many agents are they're too attached to every deal. And I think a lot of it has to do it with the fact that you're not lead generating. See, for me, it's easy for me to be unattached because I'm always having leads. Okay? So when I go to a listing presentation, I'm trying to talk my people out of selling their home. Isn't that interesting? The reason why I do that is because, number one, they should keep it if they can, because real estate's always gone like this. They'll tell you if they don't want to keep it, but when you tell them to keep it, they'll say, oh, no. I don't want to be a landlord. But I do that to get them to start liking me, to trust me. When I sit down with a buyer, and they think they want to buy and maybe spend in 2 years, I'll convince them not to do that right now. I'm convincing buyers not to buy. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, number one, they're FHA buyers. It's hard to get them into a deal on FHA. And a shadow of inventory coming. So the more I push people away from me, the more attractive they are. Isn't that interesting? It's just the way it is. So I've trained myself, how can I just be unattached and just simply tell people the truth. But it's great, I have 14 homes in escrow, I got money in the bank, I got all these listings coming. So it's easy for me to be unattached. But thinking back, when I first started, I just was a lead generating machine. I was going on a lot of appointments. So I don't know if I could say I was attached or not, but I failed a lot because I went on a lot of appointments that weren't qualified, or they say cut your commission. I said no, I'll do no 6%. I'm sorry. Okay, well sorry. We'll think about it. Okay, and then leave. Or hey, how many homes have you sold? I couldn't answer that. Or we want to think about it. I didn't know how to answer that. So as I was on more and more presentations, I just got better and better and better at handling the objections when I got them.